great at so many things.
He's good enough.
Yeah, he is good enough. I like that cup right there.
LeBron's good enough.
Wait. Look at the cup.
Oh, yeah.
That's a sick cup, dude.
That's my girl. This was my girls when they were like way young.
Yeah, brother.
So
what up, you marks? And welcome to Jobbers, baby. Episode number 18. Today is August 6, 2020. What's up, dudes? How you doing?
We're good.
Ooh, yeah.
CL Kid here and Otis. As you
Oh, God.
Otis.
Beautiful Brett.
Fuck you.
Beautiful Brett Otis.
Beautiful Brett, CL Kid. Funeral Wake Jake is my nickname that I've been given today.
Yes,
so that's a fun one.
Could be worse.
Could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Had a lot of action in wrestling this week. A lot of interesting stuff on Raw.
Glad you followed that up by saying in wrestling.
Can't wait to talk about Raw. We'll get to that one a little bit later. But for our first segment, Burn It Down. First question to you, gents. Brett, we're going to start with you. Better WrestleMania build-up, Daniel Bryan Mania or Kofi Kingston Mania?
Man, when I saw this earlier, I had like a knee-jerk reaction that I thought, was really good, but then I just thought about it for a minute and it kind of shifted for me a little bit, and I thought about it and all this stuff, and I got to go with Kofi Mania. It was just so organic, not to say Daniel Bryan wasn't organic. That was super organic, but I like the Kofi, just the build up, the 11 years and all that stuff. I thought it was great. And I thought having Big E and Xavier Woods, who are an excellent tag team and awesome hype men as well, that helped. It was a very emotional win. It was over Daniel Bryan. I'm going to go with Kofi Mania, but it was by like that much. It was close.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. And me and Brett last week, if you guys watched that at all, pretty much agreed on everything, which sucks, but it's the case, and we're gonna go with that again here because the Daniel Bryan Mania was great, but since it started so early in the year and you kind of knew that buildup was heading that direction, even though it was still well done and they did a really good job with it, it didn't get stale. They did enough to keep it fresh, enough challenges his way. You knew the storyline from so long ago, whereas Kofi, if it wasn't for Ali getting hurt, Mustafa Ali is supposed to be in that 6-man match for the number one contender or whatever it was. Kofi comes in, does that stable match, the gauntlet match before that on either Raw or SmackDown, looks amazing. Goes on and does well in that, and it just happened out of nowhere. It was not unscripted, obviously, because everything's scripted in its own way, but it was just a quick reaction that they saw something golden and they ran with it. And that's just so unlike WWE. Anytime they have something that they can push, even look at something like Rusev Day, when that clearly had heat, they still didn't push it. So it's just for them to.
I'm going to jump in here though.
Storms.
I think Kofi Kingston's run. I do agree with you, gents, where his was probably more unexpected coming in. Didn't think he was going to be given a title run. When he did, it was almost like more passionate because of that reason. And Daniel Bryan had already actually technically won a title and lost it to Sheamus in 16 or 17 seconds, whenever it was at Mania. But I think the Yes movement actually was more impactful to the world than Kofi's run. So I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan actually. That his was a better WrestleMania build-up because of that run he had and the underdog story of having to overcome Triple H and Batista and Randy Orton all in the same night to win the title. And the Yes movement was probably one of the top 5 most popular things of the past decade, if not top 1 or 2. Kofi's was magical. Like, it was just magical, unexpected, and a delight to witness. But I think we all knew that he wasn't going to be a serious contender afterwards, where Daniel Bryan still poses as a serious contender no matter what. So
he held the belt for like 9 months.
Yeah, I was going to say he kept the belt for a while there, and he only lost it to Lesnar. Now, granted, it was very fast, but
But it was Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's Lesnar, and that's kind of his thing. But
do you think he's going to get another run?
No,
probably not.
No, I don't think that. I think that's it, and I think that's probably the better way to go. If you're going to give somebody another magical out of nowhere run, which is why I picked with Kofi's, because like I said, the Daniel Bryan one was drawn out all year, which is in a great way, but in a way that you already saw coming. The Kofi thing was just on a whim, and it was great. But if you just repeat with Kofi again doing that, it takes away some of the magic behind it. And I think you should just do that with somebody else in a new way.
You know, I just got an idea for an angle. I think what I think would be cool is they set up Kofi for another run, year and a half, 2 years down the line, and everything, and that's when you get the Big E heel turn and the singles run, because he, you know, like gets pissed off about, you know, Kofi gets another shot. Where's my shot? Turns on Kofi, costs him everything, and then I think that would be brilliant. If anyone has Triple H's number, you can tell him that, but tell him I said it. I think that sounds great.
You know, it's a good one if you want some heel turn action. If you get Rey Mysterio to go heel on his son, that's never been heard before on this show.
It's never gonna happen.
I think
it's not gonna happen.
Or the son can go heel on Rey. I think that's something that's never been talked about on here, but it should have been for sure. Back to you.
I can dig that.
Yeah, one day it'll happen. I don't know. Rey Mysterio's gonna have to get his eyeball put back in his head if he wants to face Dominic. CL Kid, dude, you're gonna probably want to rejoin or something, bud. I like the idea of a Big E heel turn on Kofi Kingston. I think that's super. Super interesting. How some weird stuff happened tonight. We almost as weird as Raw this past week. But Brett, I think it's going to be super interesting if they do a Big E heel turn. That would do wonders for his character. But I wonder if he's stuck in that. Do you think he's like stuck in that zone of being an ultra face for the kids right now?
He's a big dude. That's all you need to do. Be a good heel is be a big dude. You know, and he can do it. I mean, anybody can be a heel, but I think he can do it, you know, about as good as anybody else. So I could definitely buy that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we're gonna move on. I think this is a really interesting question. What was the match that got you into wrestling? This is started from, I think Matt Riddle said that Taker versus Lesnar at 30 was what got him into the WWE. So CL Kid, you just joined back. We'll start with you. What was the match that got you into wrestling?
Okay, for me, it was definitely. Well, first of all, sound check. How do you think I'm sounding here?
Much better.
Oh, you should have said beautiful, but that's okay.
Well, we got a beautiful person already.
That's true.
His name is Brett.
Yeah, beautiful Brett Otis. Now, first off,
fucking guy.
Saw that coming. I know that Jake probably won't like this as much, but I don't care.
CM Punk The Rock.
No. CM Punk versus CM Punk fantasy dream match. No.
Ding, ding, ding.
CM Punk versus Bizarro CM Punk.
WWE.
Face Punk versus heel Punk.
He's a drug addict.
WWE 2K12 CM Punk versus CM Punk in red outfit attire. No, definitely for me it was Bret Hart versus British Bulldog. I remember they fought in 92 or something like that. They had a title match. I believe that one was for the Intercontinental title, and then they also fought again in 95. One of those was at In Your House or something like that. Whichever one was at In Your House was like freaking amazing. It was the first time I saw like Bret Hart was bloodied. And you know, nowadays that's just something that happens. It's not a big deal. Or in the 90s, late 90s even, that was something that happened all the time. But at that time, that was something that you didn't get all the time from wrestling. So I had seen little things of wrestling before that, like, you know, even later on Gobbledygooker and all these other stupid things that stood out to me. But that was the first time I ever fell in love with the overall wrestling product and like the story told within the ring. So for sure, not saying it's my favorite match of all time. Bret Hart was the first wrestler I loved until Razor Ramon, and I started going with the heels. But that's definitely the match that made me go like, wow, I'm into this. I'm going to watch every week for sure.
Brett?
So it's not the actual match itself, but the match that it led to was Austin and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. And it was more the buildup of the match. because I just started watching wrestling again. I don't know, 6 months, 9 months, less than a year before. So I'd just gotten back into it from when the last time I'd watched it, I was like 6 or 7 years old. And I was like in junior high at this point. So just the lead up to that match was what did it. Cause I mean, that had the Mike Tyson incident, that was peak Mr. McMahon. It was Shawn Michaels and Triple H and China, and they were kind of just starting to really kind of push the limits as far as DX goes. So there was all that stuff, and then you had Austin into the mix, and it was great. It was like I would go to school on Monday and just be twitching in anticipation to get home and watch Raw that night, just because it was going to be another step into this. And the match was all right. It was, looking back at it, it was super obvious that Shawn Michaels was really hurt and was basically running on fumes at that point. So the match was all right, but just the lead up to the match and the character of the match, I thought, is what got me back into it and what I think made me, a lifelong fan.
Hey, how old were you? You said?
Junior high.
Okay, so
so
13,
something like that. But
Okay.
that was like right at the beginning of the Attitude Era. Like the Attitude Era was.
I remember that whole thing that you're talking about, and
it was amazing.
I just like you. Like I said, I started watching. I was like 3, and I still remember all the things you talked about were just. It's so crazy to think at a time where you ran home to make sure you were in on time to watch Raw or SmackDown. I used to go inside to watch Sunday Night Heat, excited. Now it's like,
oh yeah,
pay-per-views go by, and I'm like, oh yeah, like Jake, Funeral Wake, Jake. Go ahead, CM Punk versus John Cena next.
Well,
that's a good one though.
That is
definitely
a good one.
not a British Bulldog match.
Dude, that match was so much emotion.
Bulldog was. I think that was the one where Bulldog was on crack. Like he was smoking crack, like as he was leaving the dressing room to go down to the ring.
Remember they had the girl in the crowd they kept showing that was like Bret Hart's family member but dating or whatever, and it just kept showing her face every 5 seconds. Dude,
so I think like you guys, I caught bits and pieces of wrestling even from being a small child. When I really got into it, it's hard to pick a defining match. I could probably pick a moment to say when I got hooked, a couple of moments. But the Attitude Era is what kept me glued to my television, forcing my family to watch Raw on vacations in the hotel, and stuff like that. And so I would say there's 2 moments that kept me wanting more. The first moment was tuning in. I think it was like one of the first times I actually sat down to watch a whole thing was when Scott Hall debuted in WCW. I think that night brought me into like, whoa, this is super interesting. Who's this guy? Yeah. Hey, yo. And then what really hooked me, like I couldn't get enough, was King of the Ring Austin. When that happened, I was like, I love this guy. He's my favorite. No, not even a question. And then basically that build up to what Brett's saying. I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. That build up to the Austin Michaels. I mean, that next to, I can't believe I have to say this, next to Punk Cena is probably the most anticipated build-up I've had my whole life of Austin going up to get Punk the gold Cena against Michaels with Tyson. That was like, oh my God, insane. And that was the first WrestleMania that I watched too, was 14. My friend Bernie Goldstein at the time, another super Jew, had it on. And
Bernie Goldstein.
Yeah,
I thought you made that up.
That name is not hiding the Hebrew there. And so yeah, he invited me over, and he's like, he went to my Hebrew school, and he's like, you want to watch WrestleMania? And I'm like, yeah, I was gonna watch it. That's awesome. And then like we just sat there like literally like the whole time that Mania, just like our eyes open. This is the best thing ever. Was that Taker Boss Man? 14.
The Rock the Dreidel match.
Rock the Dreidel. Was that Taker Boss Man, or was that Taker Kane 1 that WrestleMania?
In 14?
I suck at going back and telling you what year something happened or which number was what.
I can't remember. Taker Kane might have been the 15.
Yeah, that's got to be Kane.
Keep talking. I'll find it out.
But yeah, those two moments, like, man, I just was enthralled because I unlike you, Seal Kid, I was like every Monday night was back. Well, actually, I should say back and forth. It was at the time it was a tube television, so I was on my knob turning it back and forth.
I hated that.
Between WCW and WWF, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, go back. Oh, I just missed that. I gotta go back. Like I was obsessed.
You were more
with,
WWF or WCW? Because I
don't think I leaned hard in another direction. I mean, Austin and DX were my favorites, so I probably my favorites were on the WWF programming, but I loved Goldberg and NWO. I mean, I loved WCW's too.
Oh, the NWO thing was amazing, especially like you said, that Scott Hall moment. I think that was the first time that, like, because I would be on WWF, and if that went to commercial, then I would go to WCW. But then I'd be quick to go back and check. But that Scott Hall, because I loved Razor Ramon growing up. That Scott Hall switch over to WCW that first night, that flipped it for me. I was almost like, oh shit, now I gotta watch. Now I don't know what
Corey
the heck
said
to
it's
do.
15. Is it 15?
No,
Brett? Yeah.
15 was Taker Boss Man.
Stuff.
Oh, 15 was Taker Boss
Dude,
Man. When was Taker Kane?
That was 14. Check out this card, dude. LOD 2000 won the Battle Royal for the Tag Team Championship. The last team they eliminated was the New Midnight Express.
Oh my
God! And Bombastic Bob. And then Taka Michinoku defeated Aguila for the light heavyweight championship. I love Taka Michinoku.
My friend's favorite wrestler was Taka Michinoku.
I get that.
Yeah, he was.
And then
great.
Triple H beat Owen Hart for the European Championship.
Oh wow!
Mark Miro and Sable defeated Goldust and Luna Vachon in a mixed tag match.
I remember
The Rock retained the Intercontinental Championship by disqualification against Ken Shamrock. Then you got Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie against the New Age Outlaws in that dumpster match. That was awesome.
The dumpster match. Holy crap. Dude, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
What a mania.
Undertaker Kane won, and then Austin HBK.
It's funny that Undertaker Kane won, not to get on the soapbox here, but maybe soapbox isn't the right word. But that first match, I remember as a kid thinking, there's no way Undertaker wins. In my head, I was like, this scary Kane guy is going to destroy him. Because I think on the build-up, he just like manhandled Taker. It's crazy to even say things like that Taker was going to be manhandled, and he won. And then they had, I think Unforgiven was the next match with the Inferno match.
It's a little crazy to think, like you just brought that up, that like at that age, I mean, obviously, it's not real. Probably, I don't know. I was much, like I said, I was much younger watching initially and not knowing it was real, so I got a little older. But something like that, do you think, nowadays it's so, we know the business so much, and as viewers, do you think back then you would have watched it like, oh, well, Kane went over during the weeks, so that clearly means Taker's going to go over at the pay-per-view, like you think now, whereas back then you're just like shocked because you're shocked and you don't really understand that dynamic.
So am I like myself at 36 years old going back with the knowledge that I have and everything?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, it couldn't happen now. There's no way.
I feel like if you go back and watch that, like I feel like it was a shock, like he said. Jake
yeah.
It was a shock back then, but I feel like if we knew the logic we knew now about how storylines work and how wrestling works, that we probably wouldn't have been shocked at all.
Well, do you think the same
I see what
the
you're
same
saying.
Logic was there though?
I don't know. I don't know. Like
it's part of being a kid.
I look back at that and I wonder, is this the same way WWE or whoever, WWF, WCW, has been working all along, or is it just that we learned that and like
depends on Vince's influence on the writers. I know Vince makes a lot of last minute decisions, but I don't know what his influence on the writers.
But I feel like The Rock, like one thing I loved about the Attitude Era, obviously it was just stacked, right? But you got like, The Rock, Austin, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Taker, even Mankind, Kurt Angle, eventually Jericho, right? But it just felt like you didn't have to do the whole trade wins thing where like one person wins at a pay-per-view, so the next pay-per-view the other person wins. Like I feel like back then it was just whoever was hot that week, you won. That's it. There was no rematch to try to re-win, even though these guys went up against each other so often. It didn't feel like you had to do the return the favor wins back then. Like, was that a thing back then and I just missed it? Because I was
not that I recall.
Because I can't stand that.
I'm in the same boat as Jake. I mean, I remember thinking, I thought one of them was gonna kill each other at this match.
Oh,
That's
me too.
I seriously thought that, and like that Inferno match, I was like, holy shit, someone's gonna completely go up in flame. I mean, I don't think they did that kind of stuff because, like you said, it was Kane would come out and like squash Undertaker, and Undertaker wasn't fighting back because he was his brother. I mean,
it's just like, man, it just woke me up. Like just now, I just never stopped to think. Like, damn, was I naive? And it was so obvious.
I was naive as hell.
No, dude. Oh yeah, they had. I remember being like, because I thought like Vince McMahon and Steve Austin legitimately hated each other.
Oh yeah.
So like the first time I saw them like being friendly with each other, I was probably 25, 26, something like that, and I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on here?
You know, what
Like
I think
those
woke
guys-
me up was probably the Booker T Stone Cold Steve Austin match.
The grocery
obviously,
store
had
match.
the grocery store, not the match, but the segment with the grocery store. Because I remember thinking, like, damn, this Booker T guy. I mean, I was a little older. I wasn't that old. I wasn't 20 or anything. But like, I remember thinking, like, Booker T is like, he's a big dude. Like, it's not like he's a small guy. And Austin's just like kicking his ass around the store in various amazing ways. But for Booker T to be afraid of him legitimately, and he's a much bigger guy, and they were visually at that time, I was like, yeah, you know what? Because I always had my uncles and my stuff in there. Oh, it's fake. But I'm like, whatever. Just hang on to the, Santa Claus is real thing. It was just, that was the first time that I ever was like, yeah, actually, there's no way this guy would just beat this Booker T guy up all around the store without this guy ever getting a shot in. So that was the first time I kind of woke up, but I still love that. Obviously, it's one of my favorite segments.
So wait, do we want to save this, or are we going to do this the moment we woke up real quick kind of thing? Because I could probably get on board with that.
I threw
mine out there. It was definitely the Booker T Stone Cold Supermarket segment. One of my favorite segments of all time. So I'm not saying it like I woke up and it's a negative. It was still like, it was so good at that time with the Attitude Era that even waking up in that moment and going like, shit, this is fake, but it's not, like, not understanding fully the whole scripted, not fake thing. I woke up from that at that time, and I still was damn eager to watch every week and still fully involved in the pain and all of it and the real fake. So I didn't care about that at that time. I don't care now, obviously, but it still had me hooked. So I don't know what you guys are. What do you remember any? Like, I know, Brett, you seem like you kind of remember yours.
I mean, the one that keeps popping in my head is I had, and I was in college, which is sort of embarrassing, but I had a guy in my dorm. Like, I knew it was
2 weeks ago on Raw.
When Sasha botched, then I woke up.
Well, I knew
These ninjas came out.
I knew that everything wasn't on the up and up. Like, I knew that it was predetermined at that point. But when I realized, like, that these guys aren't actually hitting each other, because I thought they were, like, legitimately hitting each other for a while. Somebody in my dorm showed me like a slowed down video of it, and I can't even remember who it was, but you could see like this much of air between a guy's fist and his head before he pulled it back up. And then the guy like comes out of the corner and he's like selling his head and everything like that. That was
it The Rock doing
no
Dolph Ziggler?
When Rock took his first stunner, I woke up.
Oh, he's a
stunner
backflip out the ring elimination.
You see the push? He goes up.
Yeah, that was, but I mean, I'd kind of always known that, like I said, something was going on. And
did I ever tell you guys my Kane uncle story?
Real quick before you do that, I'll tell you how I woke up.
It's part of this whole thing, so go ahead.
Okay, so 2 wake-up calls for me. One for storylines are not real. Tony Schiavone told us about Mick Foley winning the championship. That was my wake up from that. Yeah. Number 2 was when they had stopped blading. That's when I woke up. When they stopped blading and doing over the head chair shots, I realized that it was fake. Because then I learned about blading, and I was like, oh, they're not really bleeding.
No, definitely there. Like I said,
they're blading.
Yeah, I that was the first time I learned about blading too. That was the first. Yeah, that's definitely the first time I heard about blading at all. I was like, oh damn, that's how they do it. I was already old enough and do my Kane thing. Said it was definitely like I was in the crowd at a live event. I think we were in Connecticut, and he sees Kane, and he's like, Kane comes out. What the heck was that? Kane comes out for a split second, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go jump into the ring." And everybody's like, "Yeah, whatever." He's a crazy uncle of mine. So this guy eventually runs down, goes over the barricade, and slides into the ring and gets chokeslammed by Kane. And then he has to go backstage and talk to Kane, and Kane's pissed off, like, "Dude, you're not trained to take these hits, like to take the falls, to take bumps. I could have snapped your neck out there just off a simple choke slam. You're not ready for this. Like, don't do this dumb shit again." Nothing else. They just let him go. But like when that happened, it was like, oh, somebody told you that you weren't a professional that knew how to fall. I'm like, damn. Like I didn't let it affect me though. It wasn't to the Booker T thing, but that was definitely right in the middle there.
Oh yeah, that's interesting, man. It's you broke up a little bit in the beginning, but I think we got the gist of it after. But yeah, it's that was a good discussion there, Brett. I'm glad you guys stopped us for that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Pusher Barry.
Well, real quick, what's wrong? Jake is already funeral awake. Jake.
I'm shocked at what has transpired this past week on Raw. Shane McMahon came back. Love Shane O'Mac. But he came back to host something called Raw Underground, where it's like a pseudo wrestling fight club that is underground, and like a wrestler goes until he gets beaten, but not really, because then it switches to someone else, and they kind of wrestle, kind of do MMA. It's very confusing. It's basically a ring covered with a black tarp, and they're in the performance center, but they obviously painted the walls to make it look like they're in some like crazy warehouse. So are you guys pushing or burying this ridiculousness? Brett, we'll start with you.
Oh, here it is. I'm getting my shovel out because I'm going to bury this. Good Lord. So they already did this, and it was horrible. Like, it's like universally considered the worst thing to ever happen in professional wrestling. I can get how I understand that it is a little bit different, and it could end up being kind of cool because you do have guys in there with MMA backgrounds. You got Matt Riddle, you got Bobby Lashley, not that he's ever going to be in it, but Brock Lesnar is a guy, but you have guys that have that kind of experience, so it could be cool, but I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Brawl for All 2. I think it's gonna be pretty horrible, and if somebody ends up getting hurt over this again, like what happened in the Brawl for All, somebody needs to get fired over this, and also possibly they need to fire whoever comes up with this if somebody gets hurt. And if you haven't watched that Brawl for All behind the ring or Dark Side of the Ring on Vice, you should watch it because that's good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna bury this deeper than shit. See y'all.
You know what? It kind of comes with a caveat here, but I'm gonna push it only if it's not something we're gonna see weekly going on for a long time, like a standing, hanging on forever kind of segment. Like for what it was in the short term, it made Lashley look amazing. That was the first time I looked at Lashley as like this viable badass since he's come back. So that was really good. They did a pretty good job of selling the hits and the bumps and doing all that. It looked really aggressive, so I'll give them that credit. Thought the little strippers dancing up there was kind of corny. Shane being back, I like that in some way. I'm fine with it. So as long as it's not staying all the time and expected to be the segment that's constantly happening each week, I'm fine with it being different. I'm fine with the way they marketed it. I'm fine with it happening. But if it is going to be something that's just a part of Raw for months to come, then I'm going to bury even harder than you're doing. So if I break in and out, sorry guys ahead of time, because it's just even the Orlando City game is postponed right now. It's storming pretty bad by me. So Jake, how you feeling?
This is utter crap. Shane McMahon is great, and he's now reduced to this ringleader of Underground because he did some MMA training before his Taker fight, and he's the announcer, and it's so bad because he's like, oh yeah, get in there, oh wow, he's gonna do this, oh he's gonna try to roll him over, oh he rolled him over, okay, done, oh get him at it, like it's not. There's no broadcasters. I don't want to hear you talk about how the guy's going to be doing MMA moves. It doesn't add anything to it. Again, I'm confused on whether it's MMA or wrestling, and it looks like a ridiculous version of Bloodsport. It's just really, really, really bad. So I'm bearing the hell out of it. I think they need to just wipe away what they've done with it, not even bring it back, and just say, screw it. We've tried it. It was not good. It's getting really bad reception out there by fans across the wrestling industry. Did not land well at all.
I just thought of a nickname for Shane. Call him Shayna White.
Shayna White. You heard it here first on Pod Jobbers.
Hashtag it. Hashtag Shayna White.
Shayna White. I love it. All right, well, we're gonna move on here from that and talk about Montez Ford got poisoned during his match, and there are some other things going on. Seal Kid, you want to talk to us about what happened and if you're pushing or bearing this?
Okay, so obviously, like you said, Montez Ford poisoning. We're not sure if that's what it is yet, but that's kind of the angle they're pushing. Coupled with, we had power outages throughout the night on Raw. Then you had mass vigilantes that looked like the Ninja team they've been pushing out there, which wasn't, though. It was supposed to be a separate group. Faction, I guess that could be the faction that they were hinting at happening on Raw. And they were taking out, throwing Molotov cocktails at the energy box or whatever they had outside. So maybe that's causing power outages or whatnot. I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know who they're pitching, who it's supposed to be. It could be the lamest introduction to somebody we don't care about. It can be a return of somebody that we don't care about. But I'm always a fan of mystery in wrestling. So I'm going to push it because I hope that they continue each week to give me some little tease and they don't just come out and do it out of nowhere. Wait for SummerSlam or for whatever you got to do it the night after SummerSlam to have the reveal. But I love mystery in wrestling, so definitely push. Where are you going with it, Jake? Let's go to you.
Yeah, I'll push the other stuff besides Montez Ford getting poisoned. I always love kind of like what you're saying, Seal Kid, where there's like a masked person that we have to reveal eventually. Like I love when they used to do the hacking stuff with Jericho and they have the countdown stuff. I was really excited about the Mustafa Ali hacker thing. I thought that was going to be a cool reveal, but they just let that go for some reason. So I'm down to see where this goes. I like the vandalism stuff. I love masked, people doing stuff. I was a huge fan of when Sting became the iconic Sting in Impact, where he was like the Joker and he had his group of vandals like kidnap people, and I just love stuff like that. I'm a sucker for that. So I'm down. I love Montez Ford so much. I think he's got great potential that's not really utilized, but I hate the holding of the beverage. I don't like that at all in a plastic cup. And so I guess they're going to take that angle with the poison thing. I don't know, but we'll see. It's a shame because Montez Ford, he's a beast, especially in ring.
Yeah, I was bummed somebody poisoned his drink, man. Like you don't poison a man's drink.
That's true.
I'm gonna bury it. It reeks of the Dark Order. That's the vibe I'm getting from it. And the Dark Order is the worst thing about AEW. So anything that kind of reeks of that, I'm gonna bury it. The only way I think it could be good is and I say this about a lot of things, like maybe I don't vocalize it, but internally I say it, but the only way this could be good is if CM Punk ends up being the guy that's in charge of it. That's the only thing that could save this, because this is gonna be bad. I do not have high hopes for it. It just like it seems like somebody like brought Vince some AEW tapes. He's like, Bruce, get in here. And Bruce was in. He's like, yeah, boss. He's like, do you see this Dark Order stuff? Yeah, boss. Such good shit, pal. And that's how we got this nonsense. So, yeah, I'm going to bury it.
Dang, you still don't like the mystery of it, even if it does fail you?
No, I guess not.
Oh,
Maybe
man.
maybe I'm an old man like that.
That's okay. You already know you're gonna be let down. Why go through the hoops? I hear you.
There's that too.
All right, Shorty G in a match with I think Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle came out during a match actually.
It was
Baron
Matt
Corbin.
Riddle versus Baron Corbin.
No, Baron
Ugh.
Corbin faced someone, and Matt Riddle came out, and then
Oh, that's
Shorty
right.
G came out
That's right.
and
Yeah,
and German suplexed him.
yeah.
So he's got a heel turn. I am
He
going
does.
to push this because I don't really care for Shorty G otherwise, and I love heels. So yeah, want to make him a heel, go for it. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm with it. Hopefully, it gets him a name change. He's a great in-ring competitor. He deserves better, I guess, than a stupid name like Shorty G. And I love Corbin, so I always get him a follower. That's good. Push.
So I didn't watch this, so just so I'm aware, this is Shorty G and Baron Corbin.
So basically, Corbin fights somebody. Oh, he fights Drew Gulak.
That's what it was. Yep.
Match ends. He beats Drew Gulak. Good, fair, straight up match. No cheating or anything. Matt Riddle attacks Baron Corbin after. After that, he's about to still continue to attack him, and Shorty G comes in and suplexes him from behind and attacks him. So basically what happened was backstage prior to that, Baron Corbin said that all the beef he had with Shorty G was to make him better, and that he's tired of him being just small and not stepping up to his potential. And like he could be better if he saw things Corbin's way. And so then at that moment, you just kind of brushed him off, but then he came out with the surprise heel turn.
So yeah, it's Shorty G and Baron Corbin, right? That's the
Yes,
angle.
Yeah.
Ugh, Barry.
No.
Barry. I don't. So if they went the other way and they went,
though.
I would have. I would have pushed Shorty G and Matt Riddle. I would have pushed that to the moon because I think that would be an amazing match. But Shorty G and Baron Corbin, I like Shorty G is awesome. He's vanilla as fuck. I don't care about him, but he's a great professional wrestler. And putting him with Baron Corbin, I mean, he might be able to get like a good technical match out of him, but he's not going to make Baron Corbin interesting because CM Punk couldn't make Baron Corbin interesting.
Ooh.
So
they should
ding ding.
They should get Shorty G to be the illegitimate son of Kurt Angle.
Gosh, that's the most forgotten big angle that just fell off the map.
Well, that's because Jason Jordan broke his goddamn neck during that match.
Well, so did his dad, and he kept fighting. So, I don't want to hear
Jason Jordan with a broken freaking neck. Alexa Bliss. So at the end of SmackDown, was it? Or Raw? SmackDown.
Yeah, it's usually SmackDown for
one of the two. Bray Wyatt came out, and it was actually pretty cool. He threatened. He just stood there with Bliss and like got down on his knees and kind of hovered his hand, and she was just like bracing for it. It was like a good solid minute or two where he was slowly going towards her mouth and then sinks in the mandible claw while the show goes off the air. I'll start. I'm gonna push this. I love a good cross-gender kind of feud thingy happening. I think that's really cool, and Alexa Bliss is great. She's underrated now. She used to be rated as a top charismatic performer. And the Fiend, I'm down with the Fiend doing anything, especially giving the mandible claw to someone. So I think it makes the Strowman angle interesting for sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and push it. I like Alexa Bliss. I like Bray Wyatt. I think they could do good stuff together. I'm also done with Bray Wyatt in this angle or anything in professional wrestling. I don't care if I ever see him again. I mean,
Bray Wyatt or Strowman?
Oh, I'm sorry, Braun Strowman.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take.
Braun Strowman is the person of whom I am sick of.
Yeah.
So, but I think Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt could do some good stuff. I think, I'm a big Alexa Bliss fan. She's an Ohio girl, so I kind of like her automatically. But beyond that, I like her a lot. I'd love to see her do more stuff, and I'd like to see her on this front on the main event level kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna push it real good.
I will push it for all the same reasons and just end it there. But if we're gonna have a CL Kid CM Punk counter every time I say CM Punk or reference him. We're gonna have a she's an Ohio girl counter for beautiful Brett, because you say that every
There's a
single
lot
time.
of Ohio wrestlers in.
There's an
Oh, yeah.
Ohio
Is this
person.
the
They're an Ohio
Miz?
person. They're an Ohio
Miz is one.
Ziggler.
John
Ziggler.
Moxley's
Miz
from
Ziggler.
Ohio.
Yeah, Moxley.
Yeah, you're up on your Ohio people every time.
Oh.
Oh, they're Ohio person. So now
Al
I'm gonna be
Snow's from
watching for
Ohio.
you. Oh, that changes
Oh
everything.
yes.
Yeah.
He's from
Speak-
Lima. That's like down the road.
Speaking of O's, let's move on to Pushing or Bearing. I don't know if you guys got to watch it. I just watched it before our podcast. The Orange Cassidy Chris Jericho debate, hosted by Eric Bischoff, by the way, was crazy to me. And Jericho is just amazing, as Jericho normally is. I mean, he pretty much was acting like Kevin Nash in real life, with calling everyone marks and really just hating on Orange Cassidy. And just calling him funny nicknames left and right. But Orange Cassidy didn't respond to any debate question until Eric Bischoff asked a random question about global warming. And he went on to provide like a nerd analysis on global warming. It's the first I ever heard his voice. And then he talked later, and then he only answered one more question, which was why do they deserve to win the match, or who needs this match more, or something. And Cassidy went into a really intense promo against Jericho, which he's pretty good on the mic. He's got a little bit of a lisp, but he's pretty good. Very intense, very emotional. I'm pushing it. I thought this was a great angle. I thought it was funny and it was intense, and it really is doing a lot of things that AEW needs to do to really compete at that level. And Cassidy Jericho has to be the hottest feud right now out of any wrestling promotion. So
yeah, I have not watched it yet, because that's my plan to do after this podcast is over. But I will definitely push anything Orange Cassidy Jericho, because the first hint of that ever coming up weeks back, I was in love already. I love that feud. So like you said, it's I don't know if it's the hottest. I mean, it could definitely be. It's one or two. You can't take it any lower than that. But I'm sure it's great. I know it's going to be great already. You've already hyped it up, so I'm pushing it for sure, and I haven't even seen it.
So my answer is going to be kind of complicated. I can't commit to a push or bury for the thing as a whole, because
take a side.
there were things I liked too much, and the thing that I didn't like about it isn't like a massive deal. So for the most part, I'm going to push it. I'm going to push Jericho. Jericho's amazing. I mean, watching that was what I kept saying the whole time, is Chris Jericho is amazing, and I've recently went back and watched some of his stuff from Smoky Mountain when he was in there with Lance Archer when they first came up, the first time he was wrestling in America. So I was watching that Chris Jericho like real recently, and then I saw this like the end of it, and he's the only one that could give HBK a run for his money as far as the GOAT goes. I'll say that. And this was great. This was amazing. I mean, this was on par with everything else he's done. This was maybe one of the better things he's ever done, ever, as far as promos go, because it was really good. I'm going to bury Eric Bischoff being orange as fuck, because he was really orange.
He was more orange than Cassidy.
He was super orange. And as far as Cassidy goes, I liked the whole presentation with the clip-on tie on his t-shirt. I thought that was hilarious. I would not have had him talk. I would not have had him talk.
So you didn't think that little segment he referenced was any good there? I'm going to watch it still, obviously, but
I thought it was great. That's the thing. I thought it was fantastic. He did an amazing job. I just wouldn't have had him talk. Not until,
like, as in you would be saving it for something else, or never have him talk ever.
This isn't for a title. That's when you have Orange Cassidy talk, is for a title.
Can you hold off that long though?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's how you build a title, and especially if it's like somebody like a Cody Rhodes or MJF or whatever, because MJF and Orange Cassidy would be great. I got half a one for that match.
But the way the title shots go in AEW, it's just, you don't know when that's gonna happen.
Cassidy will get a title shot soon. They didn't put him with Jericho for nothing.
No, this is definitely
this definitely made him. Yeah.
It was great. He did an amazing job. I thought he was great. I love the global warming stuff. You know, the hippie in me fucking loved that. And that whole promo that he cut on Jericho at the end, I thought was just amazing. That was one of the best heel promos one of the best babyface promos that I've ever seen from anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys are definitely that'll definitely be the first thing I see, especially like I said, this Orlando City game's looking like that's not going to happen anytime soon. So,
well, I wish we didn't hype it up so much for you. But,
oh no, it's too late. It's ruined.
It'll live up to it.
It's ruined.
It's good.
It's going to be an X-Pac promo.
I don't know if it's as good as R-Truth talking about Lil Jimmy and stuff in a debate, but it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good.
It was good.
You're okay. So each person, I reference CM Punk. You always reference R-Truth, and he always references.
He's awesome.
He is awesome, but I get the 24 title belt out of here.
Yeah, it's run its course. I agree. All right, last Pusher Berry segment. Brett, we're going to start with you. MJF, are you pushing or burying him going over on Moxley and winning the AEW championship?
I'm going to push it. I'm going to push MJF as the new champion. I think if MJF is champ, it could be a little early. You know, that's the only thing I worry about. It could be a little early, but I think if he gets that, he's the best heel in the business right now. That's not Chris Jericho. He gets the belt, he's going to be the best heel in the business. And I think he'll be an excellent heel champion. Like an excellent heel champion, like peak Rock heel champion, like peak HBK heel champion, peak Ric Flair heel champion. He's going to be great at it. I'm going to push it. I'm definitely going to push it. And I think going over Moxley is the good way to go because I think he's going to get a good match out of Moxley, and Moxley's really going to put him over. So I'm going to go ahead and push it.
Yeah, I'm going to push it with no hesitation. MJF is clearly like the heel. Like you said, he's an amazing heel. My only concern, like you said, about being too early, I'm not afraid of that because he's the full package. He can do it in the ring, and his mic skills are amazing. And it's very natural feeling. It doesn't feel forced or scripted or anything like that. But there's some guys, now there's not a huge lineage for AEW yet. So just comparing it to WWE, there's some guys that when they become champion, they take a step back in how good their promos get and how good their character development is. And then there's other guys that, like a CM Punk, they just go to a next level.
Ding.
Or anything, right? They go to another level, and their heel work just gets so damn good. And that's rare. But so I am a little worried that he might just get kind of stagnant as champion. But it's time for a change, and why not roll the dice? AEW's good at rolling the dice and taking weird approaches, and there's nothing weird about this. It definitely should happen eventually, so why not risk it now? Push.
Yeah, I can't disagree with pushing it either. I do think that they have to do it, though. I think they're getting pressure to do it because they're getting a lot of criticism from the industry and fans that they're only pushing ex-WWE guys. So I think they need to do it. That's why MJF quickly got a title shot out of nowhere because I think they felt that pressure and they're doing it sooner than they wanted to. I think they wanted to hold on to MJF for a couple years and let him just build his aura. But now it looks like they're skyrocketing him to the top. And, we had talked about this actually with, I think Corey was on the episode. We had talked about who's going to take the title from Moxley. Definitely not Brian Cage. We talked a lot about MJF possibly being the first champion. He'll be the first non-WWE guy to become champion too, which is super interesting. I wish they'd give MJF like a 2 or 3 more guys behind him to have like a little mini faction behind him.
Yes, I thought that was going to happen by now, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think Wardlow is enough.
Ooh, put FTR with him.
Yeah. Genius.
That's 4 horsemen shit right there.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh, and think about this. After MJF takes the belt off Moxley, it sets up MJF and Cody Rhodes. And how amazing was that, man?
That would be great. I think they should let MJF hold the title until he drops it to Cody Rhodes. I
don't know if I'd have him drop it to Cody Rhodes, but just
either or. Yeah. I don't think Cody Rhodes can get a title shot. Wasn't that the stipulation when he lost?
I think it was just against Chris Jericho.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
like those stipulations never stay.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Terry Funk retired 50 times.
He's the
Exactly.
Brett Favre of wrestling.
Yeah.
CL Kid, what you got for us? What's next?
All right, so we're gonna roll over to small talk. So, step away from the wrestling rank thing. I know, what is it, garden rake Jake? No, funeral wake Jake. All right, you love your acting, you love your movies. Brett, I'm not too sure how you feel about the cinematic world. I'm 50-50. But to you, who is the best comedic actor of all time?
Now,
I'll,
before I answer, are you
okay.
asking best like comedic actor in any genre of acting, or best comedic actor as far as who is the funniest actor of all time?
I'll let you kind of choose how you want to measure that because I don't feel like there is any one way to approach it. You could just say this person had the most funny movies. You could say this person was funny in different ways. They were creative. Whatever way you want to go. Let's just roll with, instead of saying best because that's very hard to measure, let's just go with your favorite comedic actor. Only one person.
Uh,
No,
I
if I had to's or any of that.
I don't know if I get. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Can I give you a
Yeah.
two-parted answer?
You want me to go first to give you some time or?
Yeah, go first. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought about this. The first names that even came to my mind, and there's movies, there's TV shows, whatever. And this isn't like my list or anything, but I immediately thought Steve Carell, I thought Jim Carrey, I thought Eddie Murphy, I thought Mike Myers, Chris Tucker, even I just started naming movies that make me laugh in my head and just run it through them. But at the end, I ended with Adam Sandler for me. And even though Adam Sandler, most of his movies are pretty much the same style of humor, so it's not like he's venturing out and doing anything different. But when he was in his prime, like Billy Madison, and I mean, you can go before that if you want to go Waterboy or any of those, their Wedding Singer or something like that. But Billy Madison, Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore, what's that other one? Mr. Deeds. Like those movies for me were like, they still show them on TV, and I am still always looking. In fact, I went on Amazon Prime the other day and saw, like, just to check to see where I could find them, and they're like on the Stars package or something like that. Like, I'm not understanding how they're not on Netflix by now. Big Daddy finally is, but for me, that guy, he just, like, if he was on there, Will Smith was another one too. But when he was on, I definitely wanted to watch, and it still has staying power. I still want to watch those movies all the damn time. So I'll go with Adam Sandler. I don't care which one of you guys want to roll next. I don't know if Jake is ready, or if Brett, you haven't said anything yet. Are you ready for an answer?
Yeah, if you're not ready, Jake, I can go because I got mine.
Go for it, man.
So there's a show called Freaks and Geeks. If you've never seen it, you should watch yourself some Freaks and Geeks.
Seen it.
And in Freaks and Geeks, there's a character named Bill Haverchuck. Bill Haverchuck is a nerd, but Bill Haverchuck knows what's funny. Bill Haverchuck told his mom's boyfriend, Bill Murray is the funniest man on the planet, and I'm going to second that. Bill Murray is the best comedic actor of all time. And my knee-jerk reaction was Chris Farley, because I'm such a massive Chris Farley fan. But Bill Murray is the funniest comedic actor of all time. Like if you were doing all time, it's Bill Murray. If you're doing one person in one specific frame or moment or part of time, that run that Chris Farley had can't be beat. But of all time, it's Bill Murray. You got Stripes, you got Groundhog Day, you got the Meatballs. That's the camp one, right? I've seen all of them like
Caddyshack, Ghostbusters.
Caddyshack, Ghostbusters,
Life Aquatic.
Yeah, Life Aquatic. Like I wasn't a huge fan.
Movies.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Lost in Translation, but it's a wonderfully made movie, and he acted his ass off in it. But Bill Murray has so many great roles. I'm a huge Bill Murray fan, and he's a Cubs fan, so that definitely helps his case with me. But I'm definitely going to go with Bill Murray.
Okay. My all-time favorite is Leslie Nielsen. I think he's probably the funny. I don't think I've laughed harder at multiple movies by one actor as much as I've laughed as hard at Leslie Nielsen. And I think he is an underrated in this generation humor because he is not really as popular. But Spy Hard, all the Naked Guns, scary movies. He always brought it and cracked me up. I'd love. He's like someone that I would want to hang out with constantly. Like I just want to hang out with him and just experience him because I feel like he's exactly like that in real life. I think the best comedic actor of all time is Robin Williams, though, and it's not even close. That I don't think he can be touched.
Yeah, Robin Williams was one of those that came up in my mind too.
Yeah, he just him and like him and Carrie and Sandler who can do both comedy and drama. It's just that's very impressive to me.
I can't believe you picked Leslie Nielsen, not because it's a bad pick, but I thought of this question, and as I was putting it in, as I was sitting on the couch, and Naked Gun was on, and I have never seen Naked Gun, but I know what it is and all that, but I've never actually sat and watched it, and it's like the scene where he's coming out of the airplane and stuff like that, and I'm just like,
oh, Airplane, another one.
Oh, well, there you go, yeah, and he's just coming out of the plane and stuff, and he's walking, and I'm like, I don't really know much about Leslie Nielsen like that to pick him as one of my people, but then you come out of the woodwork with him, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I'm probably biased too, because I watched those movies as a kid like over and over.
That's
and
not
over
biased
again.
though. That's what does it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
all the people I name, you get some 10-year-old kid, he's probably gonna say Kevin Hart. You know, so it's really about what you watched. You know,
Chris
And
Rock's up there too. Or Eddie Murphy. I forgot about Eddie Murphy. Oh,
I said Eddie Murphy in
you
there.
did? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's me. My favorite Eddie Murphy movie is actually Shrek, and I know that's not even like close to the level of amazing as some of his other work.
Nutty Professor for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Will Ferrell some love too.
Oh damn! I forgot about him, and I just watched
know
the
it's
other guy.
People hate him for some reason. I don't
all
get
of his
it.
movies are the same. Big fucking deal. They're all funny.
They're all great. I died
They're all
laughter.
great.
Yeah.
And
I'm
and
not
Stranger
a
Than
huge Will Ferrell
Fiction.
person, but
Stranger Than Fiction is an amazing movie. You should definitely watch that.
Oh yeah, Night at the Roxbury is underrated too.
Yeah, that's how I got my big old crush on Maggie Gyllenhaal. I love Maggie Gyllenhaal because
Oh yeah.
her and
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
with that tattoo. She
She's
was
like one of my
hot.
least favorite people.
You're one of my least favorite people.
But I want to be there.
Oh man. All right, what do we got next?
All
What's
right,
up?
rolling next. So let's go heel or face. Remember, no more the list. Doesn't have to be a negative thing. You could go heel, trash something you don't like, or go face and give a nice praise for once to the wrestling world. Brett, let's start with you. You going heel or face?
I had to think about this one for a little bit. I was gonna babyface the Cubs, but they're getting their asses kicked right now. So I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna heel. Marty Jannetty, what the fuck? He's admitting to a murder and using homophobic slurs and talking about buying weed, which I don't fundamentally have any issue with, but but I've killed a guy before, and I didn't understand the overall point of that tweet or whatever that was. Was he pissed off at his girlfriend? Was that what was going on? And that
I didn't
just
say anything
made him,
but that tweet, so I don't know what's going on with that.
and it just made him like admit to a murder. And what the fuck, Jannetty? I mean, God.
People are going off the deep end. It is crazy out there right now.
Yeah,
it's
just a lot of alone time.
You're right. Quarantine's making people go crazy. That's
and
right.
It's you can tell that it's messed up when homophobia wasn't like the most shocking part of the tweet or whatever it was.
Yeah, like why even say it? Like, what's the point? Like,
Because he's a dumb fuck. That's why.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why somebody would
CTE,
say
man.
that.
That
CTE.
publicity, whatever. Stupid.
Yeah, and
Terrible.
what the fuck? I mean, I'm sorry I keep saying that, but like I was talking to my buddy Andrew Hoskins, who's in this group. We were talking about it today, and we just stood in the hall and laughed about it for like 10 minutes. Like, what is this guy doing? So I'm definitely going to heel Marty Jannetty. Jake, who you got?
I'm going face, and I'm going face on giving Big E the singles run that he finally deserves. I hope this works out. He deserves it. I've talked before just how he's so beloved, especially amongst his peers. He's got all the tools to be a superstar, and I really hope that he gets a giant singles push. And he started off with a bang by rolling down the freaking walk with entrance ramp to the ring. Oh, he's classic. He's so funny.
I love Big E.
And he's such a good guy. Like in real life, like I always read like stories about him donating to charity and just representing a lot of people and underprivileged people. And I'm just happy for him. I really hope it works out.
Do you listen to the New Day podcast?
I need to. I always see
It's
see
good.
it advertised. Is it? I would imagine it is. Xavier Woods is dynamite, so I can only imagine how good it is.
Yeah, like it's like Kofi is the weakest part of that show, and he's still awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah,
You know
can
what I
see that.
mean? And
Yeah.
and Big E is like super dry, which is kind of funny. And you like him because he's got a thing for Goldberg too. So definitely check out that New Day podcast. It's pretty good.
Awesome. Will do.
All right. Can you guys hear me
Okay.
in here?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, man. It's storming pretty bad over here, like I said. So, nonetheless,
Shit
I
happens.
would go with face, and I'm gonna say Bobby Lashley. And that didn't seem like a huge deal, even though I already mentioned him earlier. But I was so on the other one with Bobby Lashley. Even when he first came back, I'm like, I don't care. I'm done with him. Never does anything. Still hasn't done anything. But man, did he look freaking like he was taking off his shirt to get ready for that Underground, as lame as Underground is in its own way. But he seemed scary. For the first time ever, I was like, that's a guy that I don't want to fight.
The Hurt Business was the best part of Raw.
Yeah.
Raw
Just-
Underground,
even,
by
like
far.
MVP. When MVP came back the first time, I was just like, MVP, he's kind of stale. This whole talk show thing is stale. All of this is kind of lame. You know, Shelton Benjamin, who cares? And
Did
now
a hell
we're
of a judo toss. That was a great judo toss.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, that was the best. I can't believe that was the best part of wrestling for me. I loved it. It was great. I mean, now I love that Seth Rollins promo. But that's and Drew McIntyre promo. Just promo work in general is going to get me a babyface thing because Drew McIntyre hasn't cut a great promo for me in a while. That was great. Rollins was amazing, and then the whole Hurt Business, whatever, was amazing as well. So all faces for that. I'll give WWE some credit.
Nice.
I still don't give a shit about Bobby Lashley. It's not that I it's
I
not
do.
that I was ever not that I was ever not afraid of Bobby Lashley because he's a Bellator fighter. He could definitely kick my ass. I probably wouldn't even. I'd just curl up in a ball and take it. Like whatever you're gonna do, bud, do it. You know. But I just don't. He's so boring. He's boring
Yeah.
as hell. He's super
Typically.
boring.
Typically, but I like them here.
I kind of think that whole booking, that whole Lana angle was kind of like a to soften the blow. Like we're gonna give you the absolute lamest thing we can think to do, so that whatever you do after that is fucking awesome by comparison.
That's an interesting take on that. That's
I
a
forgot
really
that.
interesting take.
that Lana shit was terrible.
That was
Terrible.
the stupidest thing. I forgot all about it. It was so bad. It was probably the
It
worst
was
thing.
really bad.
It was
Really, really
horrible.
bad.
So, just to end you guys off, know your role. Gonna go a little different this time. It is still one-on-one with neither of the great ones, because that's me. We'll have Lake Wake Jake versus Beautiful Brett. Here's how this is gonna work. Just different angle here. I'm gonna name. Each of you get your own turn with your own person. So don't go rushing forward with answers here.
It's not going to be
Sorry.
CM Punk.
Jake, you're gonna get the answer's not St. Punk. Trust me, I found any way I could make him in there. I'm going to name a wrestler nickname from any point in time, and you got to tell me which wrestler was that.
Oh,
You gotta
God.
First 3 points. If we have a tie, we'll have a face-off. First quickest answer. Some will be kind of easy. Some will be a little
I'm
harder.
going to lose this one for sure.
No.
Probably.
Some of them are gonna be. Don't worry. I won't kill you. I'm not gonna go ahead and say the people's champion or anything like that. But all right, Jake, you'll go first here. Sparkplug. Which wrestler at one point, and he even had Sparky Plug or something like that as well. But Sparkplug was their nickname.
Spark plug.
Now I'm sure we got our little thought monster down there, Brett, just staring off into the darkness. I don't know if you know the answer. Before I give Jake his last chance to answer and fail, I'll let you try to answer before I give the answer to everybody else, just for fun. So, Jake,
So
you
I
got
can
any- Jake, final answer? Nothing?
I have no idea.
Okay, Brett, you want to try to get it just for the hell of it?
Yeah, it was Bob Holly.
Yes, it was.
Wow, there you go.
When he did his NASCAR stint. All right. Not bad. You know, you tried your best there. All right. Well,
You should have
Let's
said
go.
hardcore. I would have gotten that.
Oh, I thought about that. All right. Let's go with Brett. Brett, your person will be. Now, notice some of these people have more than one. So if I give you one, don't just eliminate someone because you don't think that's their name. Big Hungry. Brett's person is Big Hungry. So I'll give you a second to think about that. There's no clues. If we get later on and you guys are really struggling and showing that this Pod Jobbers team is not as educated as one would think, don't worry. Trivia on the spot's always difficult.
Okay.
So you got an answer?
I got to guess.
Okay, well, you better not be Googling over there.
I'm not.
All right.
My guess is Yokozuna.
Okay, that's a great guess. You jerk. Just because he's big doesn't mean he's big hungry. But Ryback was actually called.
Wait, I didn't get a chance. I knew that one. I didn't get a chance to steal it.
Oh, okay, fine. You didn't know that.
I did.
I
Feed
think
me
you probably
more. Duh. Like I knew that.
I'll give him that.
Okay. I'm gonna make this round a little easier since we had a bad thing there. Let's see if we can go with. Actually, you know what? It won't be super easy. Let's make it medium. One that I knew. All right, and you may not know. Maybe it's not medium. It's just I've heard it before, so maybe for me it was a little easy. The instrument of change.
Baron Corbin.
You wish. No Baron Corbin. But it is somebody you said you loved. Brett, do you happen to know it? From here on out, if you steal, you'll get a point.
The instrument of change.
Yep.
CM Punk.
Oh, that's a good one too. But no, I'm not putting CM Punk in here because you guys would love that. But no, instrument of change, Shane McMahon.
I was gonna. Damn it! I was gonna say Shane O'Mac.
You were gonna say that. Everybody was gonna say something.
It's the first name that popped in my head, but I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. So I went on to Baron Corbin.
That's easier. So, quickly, the definition of delish. Peanut Awake Jake. Is that your turn? I believe, right?
Brett's.
No, what was it?
The definition of delish. That face just looks so Google searchy.
You can see the lights in his eyes from his phone.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm sorry.
Kidding. I'm totally kidding.
The definition of delish.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Sexay.
You know, before, okay, that was a good guess. That's not the right answer, and I'm not going to count this guess. I'm not going to count it yet. I'm going to give you another guess. I'm going to give you a clue, small clues. They're not going to be this blow you out of the water.
Damn,
clues.
I was going to say Grandmaster Sexay too.
This guy's best run was in NXT.
Breezango.
Okay, now you got Breezango in there.
Or Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze is correct.
Wow, nice.
There. So.
Wow. Tyler Breeze was awesome in NXT.
I'm glad. I was starting to worry here because I think we got no answers here. That's not good. All right. Let's see. This is. I don't know if you remember it. This is.
Giving me all the hard ones, you jerk.
No. I'll give you an easy one here, but it's only if you just happen to recall it because it wasn't small. The new face of America.
Oh, Jack Haggard.
Before you answer, I won't tell you if you're right or wrong, but before you answer, you know what? I will because.
Oh, Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is correct.
Yeah.
There you go, 1-1. All right, let's get here now. This round, because you guys were not doing so well initially.
So stupid. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Because you guys are fucking morons.
Okay. This is tough. I'm gonna say someone here, and the first person to shout out the answer will get the point. All right. This is 1-1 so far. All right. The post-apocalyptic scavenger.
The post-apocalyptic scavenger?
Sting.
No, I'll let you keep going, but I'm gonna time this in my own head, and I'll give you a little.
Post-apocalyptic scavenger. Luke Harper.
Right, now, this is the same person, same person, other nickname. Spanky.
Oh,
The next clue would be very easy, so this will be
Spanky.
Your
I
chance.
can't remember.
Last clue, and then there'll be a 3-second runoff because you should get it by now. The man with a plan. I remember that
Was it-
one very clearly.
Eli Drake.
I love that guess, but it's wrong. 3, 2,
Elias.
1. Another good guess, but no. The Brian Kendrick.
Oh.
I knew Spanky. I just couldn't remember what
Kendrick.
Spanky's other name was.
It's okay. Now, another pretty simple one. Once again, first to guess it. You're only going to get 2 nicknames here. That's all I can think of. And one of them is pretty easy. I think both are pretty easy because I just happen to remember them. The Radical Mongoose. No one knows it.
I know this. Oh my God.
Seems like
The Miz.
The Radical Mongoose? Have you ever heard the man call that?
I know. I've heard that name before. I just don't remember who it is. The Radical Mongoose.
Okay. All right, now I'll give you the secondary one just to speed things along. The Ultimate Party Animal. Come on.
both of the first name that pops in my head, and I know that it's wrong, was Jeff Hardy.
No,
It's
it's
like
definitely-
all those
I
weird
tell you,
mishmash of words.
This guy is no longer with the company.
Chris
And he-
Jericho.
Hold on, and he came out with a group of people, much like Godfather did. Not to say it's the same thing with chicks and stuff, but he came out with people.
Oh, Dolph Ziggler.
No. Come on.
Adam. Shit.
You're going to get the point anyway at this point.
Yeah,
what's
that.
what?
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I liked Adam Rose.
He's jacked now. He's huge.
Yeah, steroids will do that to you.
So, here's another one. This one has a ton of nicknames. It doesn't mean it's a super popular person, and it's 2-1 funeral wake Jake as he gets ready to bury beautiful Brett. Alliteration there with the B's. All right. The man of sophistication. Or the women.
Oh, it's what's his name?
I think I know where you're going, and I don't agree.
Don't agree. Okay.
The Picasso of pain. The Colossus of cloud. The Colossus of cloud.
Mark Henry.
The Picasso of pain. The Rembrandt of rage.
I don't know.
The Drama King. The Artiste. The Maestro of mayhem.
Elias.
No. This is tough.
I don't know, man.
His name starts with an A. And it's a double name, like a full name. I will continue to give clues.
Aiden English.
Aiden English for the tie.
Wow, nice.
Really? Wow, that was
Nice.
a total guess.
That's a great one. All right, this is my
was
last
a
one. I
total
got to run
guess.
after this.
Last one. All right. I'll try to make it. You guys, you tell me. You want hard, easy? What are you looking for?
So let's just do easy. Let's see if it can be quick enough. Quick draw McGraw.
Blue cheese. I'm just kidding. Let me give you. I'll give you something kind of whatever. All right. The essence of excellence. It's not necessarily easy.
The essence of excellence.
Bobby
Yeah.
Lashley.
No. No longer with the company.
Chris Benoit.
I'll give you another clue. No. It was somebody who represented a country as part of their character.
Oh, Rusev.
Oh yeah, Rusev. Yeah.
That's good, but it's not Rusev.
Ooh.
He was the Aristocat, but it had his country name within that. He was this place's greatest export.
This place's greatest export.
It's
The
not called
country-
the country, insert country names, greatest export. Like America's
British
greatest.
Bulldog.
No. I'll give you one other clue. His most similar character is actually that might be a little too easy. I'll give you this. The country that he was from is connected to the United States.
Oh, was it Bret Hart?
It was not Bret Hart. I thought you might go
Owen
that
Owen Hart.
No. He was
Eddie Guerrero.
No.
Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio for the win. Mexico's
Very nice.
with the win. Great stuff, guys.
Good segment. That was fun. That was awesome.
I enjoyed that. So don't worry, there will be more of that. No pressure on Funeral Wake Jake. I'll host it next week again. You get your rematch. And there will be new things with this Know Your Role segment. It won't be the same every week. We'll change it up. So good
Love
stuff.
it.
Maybe another round of this because that was kind of fun.
That was fun. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Pod Jobbers. Have a good night, everybody.
Go Cubs.
Go Yanks.